Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome back to Morgellons discussion and microscopy videos. I'm your host, Jeremy Murphy, and today I'm going to try to do this without the pop screen and with the air frequency on it. So it should pick up the high ends and it won't sound so flat. I hope everybody's doing okay today. It's been one of those days, been trying to work on some things and get some things worked out as they occur. But I had a couple of interactions recently that prompted me to think about something that was vital in my recovery from Morgellons. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you like these videos, share them out with your friends and family. And if you're going through this, hang in there because there's definitely ways out of the Morgellons. So when I say that I'm over Morgellons, what I mean is that A, it's no longer a mystery to me. And B, since I know what I'm dealing with, my options are broadly more expanded. When you realize that you're dealing with tick infections or some kind of spirochetal bacteria, then you kind of know what you're up against because that's the answer right there. If you're dealing with Morgellons, that's what you got. If you think you got parasites, then you may not have Morgellons. Morgellons is not a parasite, and it's not associated with parasites in the classical sense of the term. The bacteria that is associated with Morgellons has been compared to parasites, but it's on a microscopic level. You can't see them with the naked eye. The bacteria. It's bacteria. They replicate inside petri dishes, or in this case, inside cultures, blood cultures. But getting back to the point, what really helped me out the most, what I mean when I say that I'm over it, I still get afflicted with the sores, the lesions. They're pretty nasty a lot of times. These ones on my face I've had for the past couple of weeks, and they occur while on a combination of antibiotics. And my understanding is that the Borrelia bacteria can produce biofilm colonies inside the skin, and so I do believe that it is responsible to maintain a level of antibiotics while we're trying to address these colonies. And they can even live inside bones, which includes the cavities and the teeth. So if there's a Treponema denticola in there, that's going to help the Borrelia facilitate the biofilm creation, or at least the intracellular penetration. So, yeah, when you're on therapy, stay on your antibiotics because, especially if you haven't been on them for years and you've been searching for the answer, and then you go to the doctor and they put you on the antibiotics. Don't stop until they tell you to stop. They may tell you to take a break, but you've probably got these biofilm colonies built up inside your body, which is supplying the body with fresh stream of bacteria to go colonize elsewhere, unless they're inhibited with those antibiotics, which should be in your bloodstream because you've been taking them, with the biofilm busters. Don't never take biofilm busters if you're not on antibiotics. It's crazy because I see people online talking about how they hate the antibiotics. They would never take them because they destroy the immune system, but they're taking the biofilm busters. Be careful because what lives inside biofilms are bacteria, and the only way we have to kill them at the moment is antimicrobial agents, including antibiotics. Lyme disease really is just like syphilis. I mean, it's the corkscrew-shaped bacteria, and once it's hit with the antibiotic agents, it can break apart, but it's still going to be able to replicate. It can still function. I don't know if it can still produce biofilms at that point. It probably won't be as easy as if it had been hit with the antibiotics and had its outer surface membrane ripped open. But maybe so. At least they can potentially participate in a quorum call. And if it can vote and there's enough of them to, continue voting, then they're going to just do whatever they've decided to accomplish inside the body to survive while we're trying to kill them. So yeah, getting down to the original point that I'm talking about here on the video today is if you're my attitude, my attitude about things really helps me get through every day because it does suck to have these sores on the body. But at the same time, I mean, I'm glad I'm going through this experience so that I can share my experience with others who may be able to relate to it. And also, it has really made me stop to think about a lot of things. Not knowing what it was, that made it hard for me to feel like I was making the right decisions with it because I just didn't know what it was. But now that I've got a handle on it, I know that I can at least do the right thing in regards to getting it treated. But having that positive mental attitude along the way is vital in your success and at least being able to enjoy day to day, trying to live out to the point where we can have an established cure, whether that's nanobots that can go inside the bloodstream and rip open these biofilm colonies and report back the percentage of our cells which are infected with this craze. But that may be right down the road. You never know. But you got to be able to hang in there while that's, on the horizon. And no, I don't want to be the guy that lines up for, the first series of nanobots that's going to be going in there because, for all I know, they could get in there and go, Jesus, the whole organism is an asshole, establish a quorum and then just kill my ass off. I don't know. But, there may be even better potentials along the way with therapeutic agents. Who knows? But, you want to look at what there is about life that's going on besides the infection. And there's a lot. There's a lot going on with life. We got the forests and the trees. I mean, yeah, they got the ticks in them with the, disease and shit. But, we also got the, what's that called? The DEET? DEET. Get some DEET and spray it on your socks there. And then we got the permethrin. And we got the... I don't know, man. This vicious getting into the woods nowadays. I've been trying to avoid it since I got the tick infections. But what's ironic is that I actually got the tick infection most likely from living in a dilapidated environment. So yeah, be careful about them historical districts, but try to maintain a positive attitude. I know rent is hell right now, and if you have an opportunity to live with a relative, take them up on it. It may be difficult, but you can definitely save a lot of money by staying home and not screwing around. So yeah, the thing is, the positive mental attitude, that's what's really going to help you get along the way. What was the other thing that we were talking about? Oh yeah, cooperation. This is something that a lot of people don't, I even had a hard time figuring out that this was an important thing for life, and I have no idea why. I mean, this should be a no-brainer, but roll with me here for a second. Being cooperative can help you in those battles against the Morgellons. It's true, there's a lot of times when you want to get in there, especially in the beginning, and you want to tell people what you know, what this is, what's going on, and what you think ought to happen about it. But if you slow down and pay attention to what they're trying to tell you, pay attention to what kind of an expert they are. If they're a Lyme expert, then you should be on the right track. But if they're not, then you may want to reconsider the kind of doctor you're seeing if you're dealing with Morgellons. Because seeing a knowledgeable physician and cooperating with them is beneficial in completing the program, at least to get yourself to a point where you can live with the disease. And, if you think that any kind of, the CDC needs to come out and say that Morgellons is real for, you to get cured, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. Here's the ironic thing is that the CDC says Lyme disease is real, but, there are people probably in your own community who don't believe that's true or that you could ever be affected with it, especially if you don't live in the northeastern United States. But the fact is that Lyme disease has been found in every state in the nation, and even in Italy from thousands of years ago. So if Lyme disease has been romping around that long, and if these people throughout the hundreds of years were looking in their microscopes with people with sores on their bodies and thinking that it was syphilis, when it potentially could have been Lyme disease, or, the tick-borne relapsing fever from the dilapidated historical environments in your neighborhood, then you're dealing with, an actual infection, but people in your neighborhood may not necessarily believe that those infections are real or that they could ever impact them personally. And that's the thing about these infections, and that's what isolates people, is that once you have them, unless you know some other people who are going through it, they're probably not going to be a lot of support network for you, particularly of people who understand what you're going through. I want to tell you this, though. There's a lot of diseases out there that people have that they're living with, that they're trying to go through, that a lot of people don't understand either, because they don't personally go through it themselves. They can only relate back to how they would feel about it if they were going through it. And, of course, being a Lyme disease patient with one of those great imitator class diseases, you would want to think that it's potentially anything from psychosis to multiple sclerosis. And that's the truth. Ain't it true? But if you want to make it through, go ahead and give yourself a positive mental attitude. Try to sustain it, because there's a lot of good things going on in life out there. Yeah, I mean, there's cars, there's people. I like hanging out with people and listening to what's going on in their life. It's pretty interesting. It may be one of those things that happens when you get old, but when you get there, people get real damn interesting. I'm telling you. So do that, and try to be cooperative too. If somebody's saying something you don't like, hey, that's okay. Let them have their opinion. That's their prerogative. But try to find some people who believe the same thing you do, especially if it's based on evidence. If it's more they have to think about it than have to believe in it, then you're probably on the right track. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. I'm going to try to start to post these on the Anchor FM, because it's about time to do that again, isn't it? Hope you guys have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.